Welcome to the WalterFootball.com podcast. This is episode 311. We're doing our Week 18 NFL picks against the spread. Joined once again by Jacob Kamaker from the Sporting News. Jacob, how are you and how's your Week 17?
I'm doing great. My Week 17 was the most disappointing 10-win week you'll ever see in your life. I went 10-5-1. I made out well monetarily, but the thing is, I switched 5 of my picks on Twitter, and usually in any given week, I'll change like at most 2. And it's almost always 1 or 0. But Week 17, there were so many injury report stuff. There was so much like, oh, Josh Allen might not play very much in this game. It's going to be a lot of Matt Barkley. And so I switched 5 picks and I went 1-4 on those pick switches. So if I had just stuck with everything I originally had, I would have gone 13-2-1. So, I mean, I will gladly take a 10-win week where I'm making positive money. That's great. That's awesome. But I feel like I missed a big opportunity to have another 13-win week and really cap off the season with a bang. But what can you do? I'll try to improve on the playoffs and not waffle too much on my picks.
Well, it was still a positive week, though, for us because we needed to go 5-0 in the Super Contest in our joint entry to cash, and we did that. We went exactly 5-0, and if we went 4-0-1, we wouldn't have cashed. So it was pretty sweet to do that, and we worked hard together on Saturday to kind of figure out the 5 that we had to go with, and we got there. So I'm pretty happy about that. For me personally, I went 8-7-1. So like not as good overall, but I hit my pick of the month with the Rams. So I was happy about that. Hit most of my bets or I guess pushed as well with the Colts at -14, thanks to that Jonathan Taylor run at the end. So pretty good way to close out the year. And now we have extra playoff games. We have 6 playoff games in this round, in this opening round, instead of the usual 4. So I'm excited about this weekend, as should everyone, I guess, except for wives who hate football. So we're going to discuss these games. But first, please hit subscribe or the like button on YouTube, or share this video with someone who likes football but may not know about the video. We're sort of a new channel, so like people may not know about this yet. So definitely do that. It would mean a lot to us. So we're gonna talk about the 6 games this weekend. We're also going to talk about Super Bowl props. Rehash that from what we did earlier in the year, and we're also going to delve into the Ohio State Alabama championship. So let's get underway here. It's the Colts at the Bills, the first game. This line opened up -6.5. It's still 6.5. It was 7 in some sports books earlier today, and now it's down to 6.5. So who do you like in this game?
Yeah, the 7 was pretty short-lived. I saw it once early and then it went away. But I like the Bills in this game for a unit. I'm not super big on the number. If it came down to 6, I would love this a lot more. And basically, I just think that the matchup for the Bills in this one, they have a big advantage. Josh Allen is playing very well. He's been on fire of late. And this is kind of a statement game for the Bills, who have been hot down the stretch. Won the AFC East for the first time since the 90s. And you know they're really an up and coming team as long as Josh Allen is going to continue playing like this. I think on defense they match up fairly well with the Colts offense. They're going to have trouble containing Jonathan Taylor, but I think they have the pressure needed to make some plays and pressure Philip Rivers into some mistakes, especially with Anthony Costanzo out for the season at left tackle. Jared Veldheer filled in for them last week and actually did a solid job. But I kind of think that the Bills and Sean McDermott are going to have something cooked up to make his life a little bit more difficult on the edge. So on that side of the ball, I think they have the advantage. And then the Colts have a good defense. But again, I'm just going with the hot quarterback. I think Josh Allen's going to find a way to beat them. We've seen in the second half of the year when the Colts can't generate turnover, sacks, and big plays on defense, they tend to have more decent games than anything else. Nothing spectacular. So I could see them struggling to contain Josh Allen. So I'm going to be on the Bills here for a unit. I just think it's their time to win, and I think they have the advantage too because they're better rested for this game than the Colts, who kind of had to expend more energy than they thought to beat the Jaguars last week. So I think the Bills are the right side.
Yeah, that was a disappointing finish. You know, the Jaguars are getting blown out by every single team, and even in good matchups like the Bears. Like you'd think they'd be able to stay tight with the Bears, and they couldn't at all. And yet the Colts had trouble putting them away. And I think one of the reasons for that, or I guess the primary reason, was Costanzo being out. Now, like you said, Valdir did pretty well, considering that he was kind of fresh off the street and had to start. But that was against Jacksonville. Like the Buffalo is just another caliber of opponent, and I just think that it's going to be tough for the Colts to block the Bills, and that's going to cause problems on offense. And both of us were super high on the Colts entering the year, like you even more so. And I think that's because we both really had their offensive line held in high regard. And that's not the case anymore because Costanzo's out and he's such a big part of their team. Just not having him against this great defense, I think that's going to cause a ton of problems. Another issue is the weather. It's going to be sub freezing. It's going to be around 25 degrees in Buffalo this Saturday. And, I think the last time the Colts played a cold weather game, that was in Kansas City. And I remember Andrew Luck's beard being frozen. So that's kind of the image I have here. And, Phillip Rivers has always played in either San Diego or indoors for Indianapolis. So this is a rough spot, I think, for the Colts. I like them as you did entering the year, but with Costanzo going down and having this tough matchup in round one, I think it's pretty rough. So I like the Bills as well. I think I like them a little bit more than you do. It's probably going to be 2 or 3 units for me.
Yeah, I'll probably up my unit count to 2. I had not looked at the weather, but Phillip Rivers in cold weather, I will take that all day, every day, as Evan said here. Yeah, cold weather, maybe windy. I don't trust Rivers to throw well on that. So I like them a little bit more. And I think it's a shame for the Colts because I think they would have had a chance to maybe do a little something if they were able to win their division. And they were very close. It looked like the Titans were on the verge of blowing the game to the Texans last week. But then the Texans gave up a ridiculous downfield pass, and Sam Sloman boinked in a field goal off the upright. So I think if the Colts had won, we're facing the Ravens, I might think differently of this game. But I'm all in on the Bills, I think.
Yeah. So we agree to start, which is nice, and yeah, it's a shame for the Colts. They blew too many games. Like that one earlier game against the Browns, where they had so many injuries and they lost. Against the Steelers, where they blew a big lead. Any of these wins would have gotten them the division win, and they didn't win the division. Now they have to go to frigid Buffalo. So at least they're in the playoffs, but it's not going to last very long, I don't think. So the next